Welcome to Pirate Science. My name is Captain Richard, and you are who you are, you know? Very happy to see you all today. Welcome. It's a Tuesday. It is so beautiful outside, but we are here going to make some rockets. So next week when it's beautiful outside, we can go outside and we can shoot some rockets into the air. Super fun. Let's see who is here. Henry is here. Henry says he misses baseball. I miss baseball. Tomorrow we're going to code a baseball app. Let's see here. Amelia is here. Meg is here. Chloe is here. Hello, Chloe. Good to see you. Tucker is here. And Stella. Hey, guys. How are you doing? So, the theme for this week, all of my shows for this week, is stuff for older, better at sciencey students. So if you are in one of the younger grades, that's totally fine. Follow along. Just make sure you get some parent help with the stuff we're doing today, okay? Also this week, I'm going to kind of go through stuff quicker. So if you get lost, you remember that these videos are always on YouTube, and you can just watch them, slow them down, rewind, figure out what's going on. Okay? So today we're going to make some rockets. Meg is Alex. Oh! Hello, Alex. Good to see you. And Dagny is here, too. Hello, Dagny. Okay, so first, I just want to show off my cool floral print shirt. This is what we made last week. I added this flower right here. Look at that guy. I added that right after the show. So, turned out pretty well. It's also survived a washing with cold water, and I just hung it to dry. I didn't tumble it, you know? Okay, so, rockets. Rockets have been a real passion of mine for a really long time. I think that, like, something about just, like, the real obvious nature of whether you've done it or you've failed has been really excited for me. Like, it's obvious when you stick that thing on the launch pad and if you push the button and it flies up in the air and it's a success, you did that. And if it blows up, you did that too. And it's great. So I love it. We were going to be doing rockets. We were going to be doing rockets in 6th grade right now. That's what we'd be doing. We'd be building these guys. We'd be going outside. We'd be shooting them into the air. It'd be so much fun. But you're going to have to like take responsibility and do it on your own. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And then we are going to ask you to do it along. Okay, so here we go. Let's go through our intro. MrIncorvia.com. Okay, make sure you go to MrIncorvia.com. All kinds of fun sciencey stuff, including these videos. Okay. Also, if you make yourself a rocket, I want to see it. So email me, rincorvia@answercharterschool.org. Okay. In fact, if you make a rocket, let me know when you're going to launch it. And I will drive to wherever you're doing it, and I will film it. So that way we can, because I want to see you launch it, and I want to get it live on our stream, okay? So, build a rocket. Captain Richard will come to your launch, okay? Okay, let us go. Stuff you're going to need today. In the video description, I've listed all the stuff you need. There's also a link to a kit, which is a very good way to build a rocket your first time. It has, all the stuff. You just snap it all together. But more importantly, it'll have some engines. It's going to have the launch pad. You need those things, okay? So that's a good kit to buy. Let me just hold on. Let me make sure that the kit has engines in it, because you would need features includes Okay, it doesn't have... Oh, requires. Okay. Okay, so the link I said for the kit doesn't actually have the engine. So I'm going to find a new kit and I'll change the link, okay? Or you can buy that kit and then buy your own engines, okay? On the website, it tells you what engines you need to buy. Okay, today you need some scissors. You're going to need some construction paper. You are going to need some masking tape. You're going to need some glue. You're going to need some hot glue and hot glue sticks. Some string. You need some cardboard. And you'll need a plastic grocery bag. All right. And then some stuff you're going to need, just kind of like get ready for next week. You're going to need some engines. If you are good at, if you've done rockets before and you have some engines, saving the spent engines like I have here helps you build rockets in the future. So save your spent engines. Also, you're going to need some fireproof wadding, which you can make or you can buy from the rocket place. Okay? You're also going to need a foot-long wood dowel. I have markings on mine. This is a 3/4 of an inch. If you go to Home Depot, where I got mine, it's the white-tipped one. All right, 3/4 of an inch. You're going to need about a foot of this, okay? Okay, so let us start building. Now, I don't have a rocket to show you because all of my rockets have exploded or flown away, all right? That is the fate of every rocket. Guys, I need you to emotionally prepare yourselves. Whatever you build is eventually going to either explode or it's going to just fly so far that you can't find it ever again. Okay, so everybody emotionally prepare yourselves to lose all of your hard work. It is the fate of every rocket to eventually disappear. Okay? So, all right, what are we gonna do? We're gonna start by making the body of the rocket. Okay? Just a little warning. This episode is going to be a little bit longer than we normally do. Okay? So, you're gonna need some. Take a sheet, construction paper. Okay? You're going to use the construction paper for a number of things. So have, a couple of sheets ready to go. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to take your wood dowel, or you're going to take a engine or a spent engine. So this is a spent engine. You can see empty right in there. And this is a full engine. Okay. This is the engine that launches the rocket. And what you do is you can stick these all together. You're going to need to roll the paper around these because you want your rocket body to be the same size as your engine. Okay. Now an engine is about the same size as a 3/4 dowel. It's actually, the engine's a little bit smaller, but you can get around that by wrapping your engine in tape. Okay, way in the future. Take your wood dowel, and what you're going to do, I'm going to turn on my other camera here. You are going to roll the paper around the wood dowel. Okay. And this is harder than you think because you could do a poor job, but you actually need to do a good job of rolling this. What you need to do is you need to press down the paper so that it is as tight as it can be. The real tricky part is when you get the edge of the paper down here, it's going to want to come up and do a poor job. So you want to just kind of like really roll it tight. There we go. And roll it under. Okay. It's important to roll it tight. Okay. Now what you do is once you have this down, hold it with one hand and get your glue with the other hand. Okay, this is just regular old school glue, Elmer's school glue. Now you can don't use hot glue for this, because hot glue, I don't know, do you know why it's called hot glue? Because when it gets hot, what does it do? It melts. That's right. So your rocket is going to get hot. So you want to use, also the hot glue is kind of a little more lumpy than this. So here you're going to want to use regular school glue. I want to show you how to do it. You're going to want to use just a little bit. We're actually going to use a lot of glue, but only at little bits at a time. You want it to be just like that, really spread out. You see? Because when this dries, you don't want it to like crinkle up the paper. So you want to use as little as you can. So what you do is you just roll it onto your wet glue. Okay? Then you add a tiny little bit more. Okay? So again, guys, tiny, tiny, tiny bit. You don't want this guy to crinkle. Okay, so then you'll have a crinkly rocket. So just that much glue. Let's roll again. There you go. Guys, talking about baseball. Yeah, I'm excited about baseball. I read today that ESPN was streaming Korean baseball games. And you know what I would be doing if I wasn't making a rocket with you guys? I'd be watching those Korean baseball games because I miss baseball. It's beautiful outside. People should be playing baseball. So here we go. Roll again. So you can see that what we're doing is we're really gluing the whole thing together. Okay? But we're using tiny bits of glue because we do not want our rocket body to get lumpy. Okay? All right, and I am really keeping this tight. I'm not letting the paper spool out. Okay? There we go. One more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I get some on the edge here. Okay. We're going to roll this shut. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to grab my masking tape. I'm going to pull a big chunk of masking tape off here. Okay. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this around. Now the paper is going to come up. That always happens. The glue is like not strong enough to keep the construction paper down. So what we're going to do is we're going to just tape this down. Okay. And this way it can dry. See? So you see how it's like come up there? Just make sure that you got some good glue on the edge. Like that. Seal it shut. And then tape goes down. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you got yourself a paper tube. And inside there is the wood dowel. See? So what we're going to want to do is just kind of push it down. Comes out. Voila! We got ourselves a paper tube. Okay, this is going to be our rocket body. It needs to dry first. Okay, so see how some of the paper came undone? We'll just push it back in together. Okay, so the point is you want to make yourself a paper tube. All right, and we have glued most of it, but it is not going to dry in a wrinkle way because we've used just a little bit. Okay. Go Cardinals. Go Reds. Oh. It's true. You know, Boise doesn't... The closest baseball team is what? Seattle, I guess? Quite a ways away. So we have all kinds of different fans. Okay, so that is our body. You need to let this guy dry for, well, the bottle says a half hour for the first cure, 24 hours for it to be totally dry. So what I would do is I would wait maybe an hour, and then I would, once it's cured a little bit, then I would build the rest of the rocket. But I would make sure that I waited at least 24 hours so that the dry fully hardens before trying to launch it. Okay? So we don't have that kind of time. Lucky for you, I have made another one. This one I made way early yesterday. So it has had plenty of time to cure. So here we go. This is our paper tube. I'm going to take the masking tape off. Okay. You can see we got ourselves a paper tube. Here we go. All right, this is going to be our rocket body. Now see, we got some like, you can see how the seam is coming up a little bit right here. So maybe what we would do is we could like just get a tiny bit more glue, put it under there, press it down, tape it down again. But for right now, this is going to be fine, okay? We did a good job. We can test by taking an engine, sliding it in there. Good. Sliding it in this side. Good. Okay, so the engine is, we want it to be super tight in there. So, pretty good, okay? If it comes out too easy, we would wrap some masking tape around the engine, put it back in there so that basically we would need pliers to pull the thing out, okay? That's what we want, okay? Engine, paper tube. All right. So we are 20 minutes in. We've made ourselves a paper tube. Now what we need to do is we need to make ourselves a nose cone, okay? A nose cone is a thing that goes on top and makes it aerodynamic, okay? It's also going to, so nose cone. We need a nose cone for our guy. So a nose cone is pretty easy to make. Let me set this aside so it dries. And let's make a nose cone. Get another sheet of paper. Amelia is all out of mango. Oh my God, guys, stop with the spam. All right, all out of mango. Remove. Okay. So, what you're gonna do? Take your sheet of paper here. Use either side. Oh, just a reminder. This was the long way. Okay, we rolled it the long way so that it is 11 inches tall, not horizontal. Okay, but with the nose cone, you can do either way you want. Pick one of the edges. Okay, and start in the middle of the edge. Okay, and then just fold it over. And as you roll your nose cone, okay, you're going to want to, I kind of like hold down the tip, and I keep using my finger to make sure that the tip is sharp. Okay? Tip, roll, 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 tip, make it sure it's sharp, roll, 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 roll. See, we're kind of making a big cone. Sharp. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is the same process we did for making the nose cone. I like to kind of just get it started so that it's the paper knows where to go. Then I unroll it, and then same trick, okay? Get the glue, thin layer of glue. Come on, glue. There we go. Thin layer of glue. Squeeze that out. Okay. Roll it onto the thin layer of glue. Again, another thin layer. My glue is not open. Thin layer of glue. Okay. Roll it onto the thin layer of glue. Again, thin layer of glue. Roll it onto the thin layer of glue. Okay, just keep doing this until your nose cone, until you've made an entire giant cone. Looks like a giant. Now you see, I don't have to go all the way down here with the glue. Just kind of up around the first half of the cone. Just keep doing this until you have rolled your entire cone here. Just finish it off here. Glue all this. Get glue onto the edges of our cone. There we go. Who is White Cat? The White Cat. Oh my goodness. Who knows? Okay, we'll roll that all the way done. Okay, press it down. Wipe off some of the extra glue. Make sure it's there. Okay, there we go. Look at this nose cone. Sharp. Sharp. Okay? See? Now, I'm going to take some of my tape. I'm going to use the same tape I just pulled off of the original body. And I'm going to just kind of like wrap it around my nose cone. So that way it stays together. Okay. And there we go. I didn't have to do a good job. I just had to just put some tape down to make sure it doesn't like unroll while the glue is drying. Okay. Let this dry for at least an hour before working on it. 24 hours before launch. Okay. Let's put that down to dry. Okay. And here is the one I did yesterday. So I can just gently pull off the masking tape here. There we go. Okay, take a look. Here is the nose cone. Okay. So now what we can do is take your body, nose cone. What? Does this look like a rocket? What do you think? Edith. I'm not Edith. Bat. Barbecue. Guys, do not eat bat. Don't eat bat. It causes problems. Okay? So, what you're going to want to do here is you are going to want to cut this nose cone so that it fits right on top of our paper. So what you do is you put it all the way in here, okay? Kind of get an idea of where is that on the inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be generous. I'm going to cut off some of this, okay? So it's going to be bigger than I know it's going to be. Junk, recycle, okay? Body, nose cone. Okay, so take a look here. See this gap? The gap in here, right in here? This is what we need to trim away, okay? So that it just fits right on top. So you can kind of like mush the nose cone into the body. Push it down. So now it kind of stays on like this. Now we don't want this gap right in here. See this? Too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trimming away the extra. Okay, make a cut. It's right about there. So let's cut this off. See how that looks. Whoa! It escaped. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Much better. Fits on there. Okay, that is still a little big. So we want it to be just perfectly on. So let's trim a little bit more here. There we go. About this much. So now you want to be very careful. Always do less than you think. Always do less than you think, because if you accidentally cut too much off, guess what? You have to make a whole new nose cone and you gotta wait for it to dry. Guys, don't eat bats. Don't eat human ribs either. Come on. This is like obvious stuff here. Okay, there we go. We've got ourselves a nose cone. Now, right now, the nose cone only stays on because it just kind of like is a hat. And we can get this, if I want to make this a super efficient nose cone, I'm going to keep trimming this down until it is just perfectly sized right on top. Okay, I'm going to trim a little bit more off. Remember, always less than you think you need to trim. I'm going to say that and then I'm going to mess up. You guys are going to be like, haha, Captain, didn't follow your own advice. Okay, there we go. Take a look. Pretty good, right? So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make ourselves a little thing that goes on the inside here, a little band. So you're going to take some, let's see, do we have enough? Here we go. Just take some of my scrap that I just cut off, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of fold it in half. I'm going to make just like a little strip of paper. Like this. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to one side and then glue it to the other side, like so that it looks like this. Like this. Okay. So this side gets glued down, this side gets glued down inside. So then I'll just let it like sit in there for now. That way what you can do is you take this and it fits on top like that. Okay, and then inside there's a little support that also will hold our parachute. So the way a rocket works is that the engine has a couple different stages. The engine goes inside here, and when it ignites, it shoots fire down, and that will push the rocket up. Okay, thrusts downwards, and then it glides for a little bit, and then it actually, after it glides, when it's at the top, when it can't go any further high, it does a reverse explosion. It fires upwards. That blast of hot air travels up through the rocket body, and what it's going to do is it blows the nose cone off, and the nose cone will fly off, and we want it to drag the parachute out. So the nose cone will be attached. We need to attach this to the body and to the parachute. So that's why we're going to make this little anchor inside the nose cone. Okay, so let me just trim this down a little bit. Man, I tell you, making rockets is my favorite science project. I've been making rockets for a whole number of years. I've made some big rockets, some small rockets, and it's you can make kits. I had a friend who just made a giant rocket and a kit. But honestly, guys, like, I don't know, like, once you can make rockets by yourself, then there really is no reason to buy a kit anymore, because it's just as easy, you know? Like, the only difference is that you're putting together someone else's work, and that's not fun. So I put glue on both sides here, and I'm just going to slide it into this nose cone. There we go. Stick that on the sides. Okay. So first, pour a little more glue down in here. Sorry, I'm not showing you guys. Get that in there. Okay, and now this still go on. There we go. Still goes on. Pull it out. Okay. So let's push this down a little bit more. We want to be able to attach our parachute to this. Oh, it's come undone. Darn it. Okay, let's try again. One more glue. What are you guys talking about? How many rockets have I made in my whole life? Well, at least 10. At least 10. The very first one I did was a model. Like almost I think, you know, the kit that I showed online there, I think that's the exact same one that I used with mine. Okay, there we go. We got that in there. So see, the string will loop through that. Okay, this will fit on there. Okay, a little bit of extra glue. Just wipe that off. Okay, there we go. Nose cone needs to dry now, so we're going to set this aside. And now it is time to make some fins. So you make the fins out of cardboard. I want to show you the kind of cardboard that I got here. So this came from a US Priority Mail box. I just cut off 2 squares. The best kind of cardboard to use is the thick but non-corrugated cardboard. So that means, you see inside here, there is like the cardboard that has like the air in between. This is corrugated, but it's not so bad. You don't want the thick, really airy kind of cardboard. The best is like non-corrugated. Often it is the solid cardboard, like the back of a like if you have a spiral notebook, you know, like the back is that cardboard. That's really good to use. I had some Girl Scout cookie boxes, but that cardboard was so thin, I worried about its strength. So I went with this guy. I just cut off 2 squares. Okay, so you can measure off 2 squares, and what we're going to do is we are going to just cut these right in half. Okay, so not this way in half. We want to cut them across on the diagonal like this. Okay, that will give us 1, 2, 3, 4 fins. Okay, move my rocket body. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut. If you are not super good with scissors, you can draw a line with a ruler and a Sharpie to help you cut. Okay, so here we have 2 fins. All right, I'm going to do the other square now. So Cora, I have made many, and I always name my rockets, and I have a naming convention. So the first one I made a couple of like once I started to get serious, I started naming them. So I named them colors. I named them colors, and they were always in alphabetical order. So A was amber, B was blue, C was cyan. D, I had a hard time coming up, so I came up with dandelion, and I painted them the color. I will post a video of I have an old video of some of my old rockets that are hilarious. I will find those, and I will share them with you. Now, I need to get my hot glue gun ready, guys. So, it's hot glue time. Let's plug this guy in, get it all warmed up. Okay, we are officially 5 minutes over time. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a longer project today. Okay, plugged my hot glue gun in. Guys, always remember to use a hot glue gun around your parents. Make sure you're safe with your hot glue gun, because as we know from school, we sometimes get burned by hot glue, right? That happens. And we have no office and no ice packs right now. We're all out of ice packs on this YouTube channel. So you're just going to have to be very careful. Okay? So while we wait. Oh, Mr. Turner is here. Hello, Turner. Turner, did you show your birthday card we made you to anyone? What are the launch codes? The launcher I have here. Let me show you the launcher. So this is why it's important to have, if you've never done this before, you need to have one of these. It comes in a kit. So it goes to 2 alligator clips like this. Okay? And each one of these alligator clips clips on. There. They clip on to an end of an igniter. And then you put a key in the little box, you press this little button right here, and electric charge goes down the wire, and it ignites the igniter, which then the igniter will light the engine and fly off up into the air. Oliver! Hello, sir. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, didn't we make you a birthday card last week? Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to put each of these fins on in a quarter way. Now, there are all kinds of different ways of figuring out. Some people will put the paper down, will draw a circle around it, and then quarter it, and then they will line up the fins that way. Honestly, I feel what works best for me is just kind of eyeballing it. So let me figure out here which end I want to use as the bottom. Engine, just test an engine. Test my nose cone. Okay, that's a pretty good nose cone side. So let's do engine. We'll do the... Okay. So what you're going to do is take your piece of cardboard and you're going to put it on to get a flat side. The best way to have a really straight edge is to use the machined edge from a cardboard, okay? Make sure that it is super straight. What you're going to do is you're going to take your hot glue and you're going to put it right onto the fin. Remember, guys, only use a little bit of hot glue. Just enough to make it stay on strong. Okay. Just kind of like eyeball it, make sure it's straight. Hold it down until it dries. Don't burn yourself on the wrist like I just did. Let me move this so you can see. Now what I'm going to do is put a little extra hot glue on the sides. So when that dries, it's strong. Okay. A little bit more on this side now. Let me... Ow, hot. Okay. A little bit more on this side. There you go. One fin. There we go. All right. Now let's do the other side here. This is the part where I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it down in the camera here. So let's change our camera here to the large side. This is where you're just going to kind of have to like eyeball it. If you didn't make marks on your body to where you're going to glue your fins, you're going to have to just eyeball it. That's what I do. I just kind of like look and make sure it's straight. You want your fins to be straight. Okay, so here is my next one. It's going to go right there. Okay, so here we go. This is how I do it. Which side am I using? This one right here? Okay. Put some hot glue on my fin. Okay, hot glue. Just gonna hold out my rocket like this and just stab it on. Make sure it's straight. You don't want the fin. You want the fins to be like a straight line. If you're looking at it like I am, like this, you want it to look like it's one sheet of cardboard. So not straight, not like this, not like this, straight. Okay? There you go, see? Straight. That's what you want to do. Okay? Now that it is on, I'm going to add a little bit more on the sides. Sixth graders, aren't you jealous? This is what we were going to be doing in school. We were all going to be making this. And, you know, here I am. I'm making this rocket, and it's probably going to take 45 minutes to an hour. And it probably would have taken us in school probably like 5 STEM classes. Okay, there we go. We got our fins. Now here's the thing. These fins, they will come off. If you don't glue them on strong, they will come off. Now gluing them on strong doesn't mean using a lot of glue. It means that you have good contact with your glue. Okay? Okay, there we go. Just a reminder, guys. If you make yourself a rocket, email me because I want to come and watch it fly. All right, now we're going to do the same thing. Now this time, instead of making sure it's straight, we want to make sure that it goes on perpendicular, 90 degrees. Okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to put on another fin. That one's going to go like that. And you know, what's cool about these rockets is that when you're done, you can paint them. Not too much because they're paper, and if you put too much paint on them, what happens? It'll dry and warp the paper. Don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of be very careful. Put that on like that. Okay, let's see. A little bit crooked, huh? Yeah, see? Maybe I rushed it a little bit too much. But honestly, that is... Now, see how this could have been slightly more that way? So you want to be careful. That's probably going to be okay. But you just want to make sure that you're careful putting these things on. I'll do the next one better. Trying to show them, trying to get it in the camera so you guys can see the work I'm doing. A little bit more hot glue. Okay. Last one. Last one. This guy's going to go on right here. Now this one, this fin, look at this. This is the seam. The seam of the rolled paper is going to be right where the next fin is going. That's going to be a little annoying. We're going to do our best. Okay, let's get some glue onto our last fin. I'm glad I didn't have to get out another stick of hot glue. I'm going to have just enough. Okay. Okay. That one was a much better glue job. That one is right where we want it. Even though it's on the seam, I'm worried about that when it flies, whether that seam is going to hold. But you know, that is the magic of these rockets, is that sometimes they explode and fall apart and catch fire. That is part of the fun. You know, you gotta learn from your mistakes. The first rocket I made was terrible. It went and it's so cool to see them fly, and which is fun. It's fun when they mess up and fly all around. But then when you kind of get over that, you're like, wow, okay, I actually want it to like go way high in the sky. Because I'll tell you, when you build them well, they don't just fly. They like will disappear into the sky. It's really cool. Okay, let's turn back on our other camera. Here we go, guys. Okay, now I'm almost done with the hot glue. I'm going to skip a couple steps just so that we can get the last thing on here. Oh, I forgot. You know, I forgot to put it on the supply list. Let me get them out. You're going to need one of these guys. A straw. Okay? You want to see my pug? My pug, I put my pug in her kennel during these because she's very energetic and she climbs all over the place and she wants to be the star of the show. So I would let her sleep. But I'll tell you what, Stella, I will do a special stream, a pug stream, so that you can see. Okay. Bye-bye, the white cat. Goodbye. So what you're going to do is you're just going to glue a straw to the side of it here. Now, you don't need it to be the whole length. You want to be about a third of the length of the straw. This is going to be the thing that you slide the rocket on. So there's going to be a launcher. It has a stick. And what you do is you slide the rocket down onto the straw. That way, it just holds it in place. And then when you fire it, the straw just goes up the straw. So this is an easy glue job. Put some hot glue right onto your straw and just glue it to the side of the body. Just like that. Okay? All right, a little bit of a science lesson today. Why are fins important for a rocket? Okay? Why are fins important for a rocket? Well, I want you to think. So a rocket, it has this balance. So here's the balance point. See, it's balancing on my finger. If it rotates around that balance point. See? Right? Tips, tips, tips. So if the air is rushing this way, it's going to wobble as it flies. So air is coming this way, it wobbles as it flies. And what will happen is, if what we call the center of pressure, if there is more area for the air to push on back here, what will happen is as it wobbles like this, then the fins will get pushed by the air. Like here, see, the air comes and it pushes on the rocket, it pushes it back straight. And then if it wobbles too much like this, the air comes from this way and then it hits the fins and pushes it back straight. So it becomes this self-correcting mechanism. If you imagine it was backwards and the fins were like the rocket is flying this way into the fins, like this. So the air is coming this way as it flies. And if it tips, then what happens is the air hits the fins in the front and it causes it to flip around like that. That's why the fins are always in the back, okay? It moves the pressure behind the tipping point so that it becomes self-correcting as it flies, okay? That is why we have fins. Look at you guys missing everyone. I miss you guys so much. You know, I'm really glad that I get to do these videos and check in with you 3 times a week. It's a lot of fun. Okay, there we go. We've glued on our fins. We've glued on our plastic tube, a straw. We've glued it on. Now we need to do a couple. We are a little over halfway now. What do we need to do? We need to make an O-ring, and we need to make our parachute, and then we'll be done. Okay? Exciting. So what I like to do is I like to take, this is another important reason to have a spent engine, Or what you can do is you can make like I took this dowel here, okay, which is like the same size as an engine, same height. See, I called it engine. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to put my O-ring in. So your engine is going to go inside your rocket in the bottom like this, right? Goes inside. And what happens though is if the engine is not, if it's not tight in there, and you need you need a little donut right on top of the engine. So that way when the engine pushes, it pushes against that donut and it pushes the whole rocket up. If you don't have that O-ring, what will happen is the engine will shoot up through your rocket and blow out the top. I have seen that happen to a number of students. So you want to make sure that you have an O-ring in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves some more paper. Oh, and another great reason to keep the spent engines is that you can saw them. Let me cut a little paper up here. So you want to make a strip of paper. Okay, like this. So one way to make an O-ring really easily is to take a spent engine and just cut like a ring of it off. Like cut maybe like 1/2 inch off the top. Let me unplug my hot glue gun. There we go. If you cut it just that much off, just the top, and then you can glue that inside the rocket. Because it's the perfect size, it's going to allow the hot gases to go up and blow the top off when it needs to. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do it the old way. So that is, we're just going to roll up a piece of paper like this. Okay. And then what we're going to do is that's probably thick enough. So we'll unroll it a bit. Let's get some glue in this guy. Now this is the part that takes the longest to dry because you're going to use a lot of glue. You want this guy to just be not a lot so that it becomes runny, but when this thing dries, you want it to be like a brick because it is going to be the thing that holds the engine it stops the engine from exploding up into the rocket. Okay. So there it is. We're going to use a little bit more paper to wipe off this extra glue. Okay. There we go. Let's cut this off. So we got this glued up roll of paper, right? What we're going to do is we're going to just kind of like turn it into a little ring. It doesn't need to like be a complete ring. But see, this is good enough. See how it's bent around like that? Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on the back. This is the part where you get your fingers all messy. Really get some glue on there. Okay, because we're going to want this to bond to the inside of our rocket. Really make it secure. Okay, you don't want this thing flying off when done. Now this is going to go inside your rocket. Okay, so it's slathered in glue. We're going to put this guy inside. Come on. There we go. Okay, so there it is, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take our spent engine or our engine mock-up, and we want it to be we want this thing to get pushed inside exactly the length of one engine. So we're going to just take this. So there it is inside, and we're going to just take it and we're going to push the engine in. I'm going to use a spent engine instead because I feel like I might have a hard time getting this out. Okay, so push, push, push all the way in. Okay, so the engine is totally in. That means it's pushed the O-ring right to the position it needs to be. Okay, And now my engine is stuck. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. I'm going to just grab some scissors. I'm going to try to use them as pliers. There we go. Okay, pulled the engine out. Ryer says, can you make the reel? I have no idea what that means, Mr. Ryer. I'm sorry. So you can see inside there, the engine block is there. Let me show you in this camera. Okay. There it is. So you can see that we can still see straight through there, right? But the O-ring is now, I don't know, it's kind of dark in there. Can you see? There it is. It's exactly where we need it. And we slathered it in glue. So that is going to dry in exactly the place we need it to do. Guys, we are getting close. We just need to make ourselves a parachute or a streamer. In this case, we're going to make a streamer because we don't need a full-blown parachute because this thing is made of paper and it's not going to fall with enough speed to really damage or hurt anyone. So, but what we do want to do is we want it to slow down its fall. So that way we absolutely know it doesn't hurt anyone. And so that we can also see it flying in the air. Also, it's the slowing it down will help us use it again. We can shoot this guy many times. If, however, nothing slows it down, it's going to just go bonk into the ground, get crushed, and then we don't get to use it again. Now, remember I told you the fate of every rocket is to be destroyed. Ryer says, notice me. Can you make a ROM on Java too? I cannot. I'm sorry. All right. So we are going to make ourselves a streamer. Put our rocket over here for a little bit. I'm going to just take this here Winco paper bag, plastic bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my scissors and I'm just going to like slice a long strip of it. Doesn't need to be thick. So what this is going to do, this is going to shoot out the top of our rocket when the reverse charge explodes. And what will happen is it will flap in the air. It will like just cause the rocket to spin and flail all around instead of just like doing a nosedive and gathering speed with gravity. The whole thing will be tumbling all around nice and slow. It's like a leaf, right? You know how leaves fall really slowly, right? Same thing. Okay. Everybody get Chloe's captain to the top. She's asking a question. Chloe says we need to wrap up. We have 2 minutes. Oh, yes. So Art with Ann is going to start in 2 minutes. And you know what? You should go watch Art with Ann. Definitely. But I'm going to stay right here. And I'm going to finish this rocket. So when you're done with Art with Ann, you can come on my YouTube channel and you can watch the rest of this done. If you want to stay here with me, totally okay, all right? Gotta go. That's totally fine, guys. You take care. I'm going to finish this, and you can come back and watch it when you're done, okay? Because the reason I want to finish this today is because next week we're going to shoot this thing, and I'm super excited about that. So, all right. So, we're going to take our... Oh, no! There we go. All right, here we go. We're going to put on... Henry, please stop. Okay. Here is our thing. We're going to need some string. Here's a string. And goodbye, Chloe. Super good to see you. Let's get some string going on here. I don't know if there's an end to this string. Seems like, you know, I'm just going to cut some of it right out of the middle. Okay. Okay. So we got some string. And this string is going to go in 2 different places. is going to, we're going to need to attach it to our, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the string across the streamer like this. I'm going to take it, I'm going to fold it over, okay, just like that. Now I'm going to take my masking tape. Oh no, come here, masking tape. There we go. And I'm just going to just cinch it shut. Okay, so masking tape. Just like this. Okay. Around the back. Just like this. Just like that, guys. Look at that. Okay. So that holds that in there like that. Except then it came out. Ah! That's okay. Let's just tape it right down, okay? Let's get some more masking tape. Okay. Stella, I will do a secret special pug stream. Okay, let's wrap this around another time. Okay, and I'm just going to tape that all shut like that. Okay, there we go. So now it's just kind of like on there, right? How did this do? Okay. So our, okay, so I'm going to fix that with a little bit of hot glue so it goes fast. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our nose cone like this, and we're going to, let me plug my hot glue back in because my nose cone came undone. See how this came undone? So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue and just kind of like seal that shut. See if this is like already hot enough. Nope. So let's give it a second. Chromebook just finished updates. Well, that is good. Make sure you guys keep our Chromebooks nice and updated. Unless that's your Chromebook. I'm glad that you're keeping it updated. Stella has to go. Goodbye, Stella. I will check out your, I will send you a secret pug update. You can always email me too, okay? Okay, a little bit of hot glue. Ow, hot. There we go. Okay. Glue that in there. So now I have threaded that in there. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just glue the parachute into the thing. So I need another strip of paper. I'm going to make an anchor point. Okay, and now this absolutely has to be done with regular glue, not hot glue. So I take my paper and I'm going to put the whole thing just like that, okay? All right, I'm going to take some glue. We're going to glue this down. Okay, so we cover that in glue. And then we're going to fold the whole thing in half like this. Okay, got glue squirting out the sides, that's good. We'll just smear it on the top. And we're going to fold the whole thing over again. All right. There we go. Grab this extra glue, smear it on the top. Let's put a little glue on the back. This whole thing now, a little bit more glue. Okay. This anchor point is going to go inside the top. Let me just switch my camera over here. This anchor point is going to go into the top of our thing. So here it is. Go inside the top. Fold it over. Stick that down in there. Okay. There we go. I'm going to just get some scissor action. Now what I'm doing with the scissors is I'm just pushing the anchor point, gluing it to the inside. All that glue, just smushing it on the inside. That is it, guys. We have finished our rocket. I know I can't put it together to show you because that needs to dry. But you fold this up. This goes into the rocket, okay? And then the whole thing sits on top. All right, that's it. You put an engine in the bottom, you shoot it off. That is next week. Who is still here? We got Turner is still here. Anyone else still here at the end? I think Stella had to go. That's okay, Stella. All right, guys, super great to see you. This is quite the project. I've made these for a while. It took me an hour to put together all of this. All right. It's going to take you even longer. So spend a day putting it together. Watch my video over and over again. I'll put a link to the instructions on the video description also. Okay. So guys, been super great seeing you again. All right. Make some rockets and email me, and I will come to your launch. Okay. Go to mrincorvia.com for all your fun sciencey stuff. Tomorrow we are going to code a baseball game. So come 1 o'clock tomorrow, and we're going to code a baseball game in Scratch. It's going to be much more of an advanced coding thing. So we've messed around with some simple stuff, and now we're going to do like a fun advanced project. Okay. All right, guys. Super seeing you all. Go check out Art with Ann. She's on right now. And I will see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Take care, guys.